The long-term mindset will always win in the fitness game when you're trying to get in shape. Here's my qualification. I've been training for, I don't even know, at least 10 years now, but I've been coaching for over 7 years now. And time again, to give you a little story, I always see short-term behavior lead to short-term results. And I'll give you a bit of an example. Growing up when I was in high school and I'd started getting into working out, and having muscle was this crazy thing. I remember the very first time I saw one of my friends take his shirt off, and he had this amazing physique, and I had never seen anything like it. It was like I saw an alien for the first time. And I remember looking at that physique and I was like, holy shit, I gotta get fucking jacked. I gotta get jacked. All right. So that first time being introduced to something that is truly earned, truly earned. And this guy was very low key, you know, he would be doing the whole Rocky training, doing boxing and then weights and calisthenics, and he never told anyone about it. And that was when I really started focusing on it. And then I would be in this nerdy friend group in particular where no one worked out. So when I started working out, I started getting this weird judgment from everyone. Oh, this guy is, he's cocky, thinks he's better than everyone because he's working out. Like that, this very weird association with the gym being almost like a show-off kind of thing. So fast forward a couple weeks, you know, I'm working out, I'm doing my thing, and I'm talking in this group, and this one guy, he's like, yeah, you know, I have a friend and he wanted to start working out. So he started taking steroids before his first session. Literally started taking steroids. Like, you're in high school, imagine this, you're like 16 years old and you injected yourself with testosterone and you haven't even done one session. Like, this was the mindset that was just being promoted. And it just blew my mind. I'm like, how can people operate on this level where they think shit's just gonna come that easy? And they go immediately for the shortcut without doing any, thinking that, oh, you know, I can get away with not doing any groundwork. You know, understanding the foundations of good training, understanding the foundations of good nutrition. How can people expect something truly impressive that is earned to come that quick with doing none of the work? And it's these people who inject themselves before their first session that are the ones who just will not retain that result. And those are the people who are always cycling their results. When I started training, I knew from day one that I was going to be jacked. I knew it for a fact. And I knew it was always going to stay that way. I had, without even logically saying it to, I just knew that I was always going to be consistent, and I just knew that I wouldn't stop until I got there. And that once I got there, it was just part of me. So what happened was I took an identification process on immediately. And this is what they talk about, visualization and law of attraction. When you're very intentional with the world that you want, and you can see it before you achieve it in this outside world, you start behaving in a way that attracts it, right? And that perspective, because I knew that it wasn't going, I knew that it was a non-negotiable in my head. You know, there was my ticket of like, all right, this will make me more confident. This will make me more confident in myself. You know, that will help me level up. So it was like, why would I not have this in my life? And if that's the case, let me do this and do this well. Let me do it properly. And because I had developed that long-term mindset from the start, from the get-go, I never rushed decisions. I was never uncalibrated in my approach. I always actually, I would say in the beginning, for the first 2 years I was, but from a point of view that I was training too much and then I was dieting too intensely, which I learned my lesson. You know, I stayed 64 kilos for 2 years straight. So I learned my lesson with that. And that was a testament to being short-term minded, because, you know, I couldn't accept the fact that if I tried to gain some weight, I'd get a little bit of fat in the process. So I'd try to always stay ripped. And that had its own connotation. So that's an example of me thinking short-term, and it did screw me over for 2 years straight. But that aside, I was still there for the long term. Like I wasn't gonna give it up. And it wasn't until I was thinking really, really in that long term that I was achieving steady growth week after week, month after month. And never get caught in the bullshit. Like I haven't been unnatural ever. And I don't care to, because I know I'm gonna be in the game long enough to continue to grow and build and just get stronger and look better. Because I like it and I like how it makes me feel. And that is why I don't have issues staying in shape. And that is why other people do. So ask yourself, it's like, how important is this to have in your life? To look good, to feel good? Like, how much do you really value it? And if you really do value it, start playing the long-term game, because you'll always win and beat these people in the long run. Because that short-term mentality, you'll keep setting your foundation wrong. And when you try to build off a small foundation, a shaky one, it always collapses the further ahead that you try to build upon it. The larger you can make your foundation at the beginning, get your technique right, understand proper nutrition, understand how to train with the right intensity, but understand how to recover the right amount, and how to progressively overload week after week. Doing that and understanding how to gauge that week after week. Understanding caloric manipulation over a period of time. When it's time to cut, when it's time to bulk, when it's time to maintain. How to minimize damage when you're traveling around and when things get busier. How to change your training split accordingly to these times. When it gets busy, but you don't want to completely stop momentum, but you want to keep moving forward, but maybe not as aggressively because you don't have as much time or mental capacity. Until you build your foundation of doing these and not being perfect, but doing better, it will always be a struggle. So, and I always tell people this, I was hanging out with a friend yesterday, and we're gonna get started together now. I'm gonna start helping him because he realized, he's like, oh shit, long-term mindset, long-term perspective. And the great thing is I can walk around being a living testament to that and proof at, hey bro, you're looking for the shiny fix. Stop doing that. I'm telling you, do this, and do it fucking well. And when you do it, use this intensity and use this technique and keep fucking showing up and do a little bit better every week. Let me program that for you. Let me dial your macros and calories. And that was his aha moment, because he had someone there to show him. So that's why I'm making this video, to show you and tell you. Stop fucking up with the short-term mindset. Get the long-term perspective, make the right decisions, build your foundation strong, and build upon that over a very long time horizon. Because what life is it when you look like shit? It's like one of those things that it's an obvious everyone wants to be in shape. And if it's an obvious yes, and it's your health and it's important, I mean, make smart decisions if it's going to be a constant in your life, like this. So, those are my words to you. Be smart about it. Set the foundation right in the beginning. If you want help, you can always check the links out. Otherwise, make sure that you're really doing this properly. Don't fuck around. You're better off progressing by even 20% instead of 100% and then 0%, 100% and 0%. The person who does 20% consistently will still do better. So you're better off building momentum. And then when you can put your foot on the pedal, accelerate it during those weeks to months. Hope it helps.